you know, because of the fact that I don't really have too much to talk about when it comes to this game itself, I guess I could just talk about like the things that I'm looking forward to once I'm caught up to everything. The first Sonic game that I've missed out on is Sonic Lost World. I don't know anything about the game, never played the game. I barely know anything about the game other than the fact that there's a Wii U and a 3DS version, which is honestly just kind of like a thing that's very common in Sonic games. Like, obviously, like there's a handheld version and there's console version. Although I guess with the Nintendo Switch, that's kind of pointless now because I don't think there's like I don't think they'll do like, oh, for the PlayStation 5, let's have this Sonic game and then the Switch version is an entirely different game. I don't think that's how it works. But yeah, like that's a very common thing, right? Like, Sonic Colors on the Wii U had a DS version of that game. Even like All Stars Racing, the original one had like a DS version of the game and then console versions and stuff. That's very standard Sonic stuff. Sonic Generations had that. The works. I also know that the game has like mediocre, or I guess like average or like mixed scores. So it's kind of one of those things where I'm just expecting it to be, I guess, what's a good comparison? Oh, really? Okay, so it is like Sonic 1 in that regard. Yeah, dude, like the 16-bit game, like if you lose your shield, you don't have your invincibility frames. That's so dumb. But like I said, I think when it comes to Sonic Lost World, I think it's going to be kind of like um I guess like the Sonic Heroes of the series. Like, some people really love Sonic Heroes. Some people are like, oh no, Sonic Heroes is not that good. It's meh, whatever. I feel like I guess colors and generate because there's kind of like this Sonic cycle thing that was going on. Like everybody was talking about it back then. About like, oh, there's a Sonic cycle of games. It's like, oh, it's happening like this. Like Sonic Colors is like Sonic Adventure 1 and Generations like Adventure 2 without Scene. And then, oh no, Sonic Lost World is Sonic Heroes. And honestly, not a bad theory at all, because of the fact that I know that Sonic Boom is poorly, and I mean terribly received. So, I mean, I guess you can say that's the Sonic 06 of the series. Or I guess Sonic 06 of this, like, of that, like, era of Sonic, of, like, Colors, Generations, Lost World, Sonic Boom. But I mean, hey, I mean, if that's the case, we are restarting with the next game after Sonic Boom, so I don't know. Okay, here's my thing. So the first Sonic game I've missed out on, Lost World, the Sonic Boom games for Wii U and 3DS, and after that, here are my guesses, right? I just want to have like just a little theory of mine. I hope nobody's gonna laugh at me, but I'm using this based off of things from the past. I'm assuming the 2015 game is Sonic 4 Episode 3, and I think that the 2016 game is the 25th anniversary game, and I'm assuming like 2017 is just like a spin-off game or something. And 2018 is like the next Sonic game. And the reason I'm saying this is obviously because Sonic has always gotten anniversary games, and then usually after the anniversary game, there's like 2 years of waiting. Like there's 2 years of you waiting for like the next Sonic game. Like we had SA2 in 2001, 2003. We finally got Heroes. I mean we had Sonic Unleashed 2 years after. We had Sonic Unleashed 2 years after whatchamacallit, Sonic 06. And we had Sonic Lost World, which was 2 years after Sonic Generations. And usually in between those years, like, it's usually like a spin-off game being released. I mean, those years would be 2002. I mean, there's Sonic Advance 2 for that year, I guess. I suppose that maybe counts. 2007 is Secret Rings. I won't say that's a spin-off, but I mean, not like the Writers games, but, it's not really like a main... Like the storybook games are not really like the main... like games, I guess you can say. And then 2012, I obviously had Sonic 4 Episode 2, which, by the way, the way I see the Sonic 4 series is just basically games named Sonic 4 for the sake of making a group of fans just not talk anymore, just make them, shut up and not complain all that often, because from what I've noticed, like, Sega or Sonic Team wasn't really super keen on, like, appeasing, like, a group of fans just for the sake of appeasing a group of fans. Because usually, like, when it comes to Sonic games, it always moves ahead, Like, that's the thing that I really like about this series. One of the many things, at least, not the only thing, but it's one of the many things I really like about this series, because every single time you can expect something new, which is a very big reason why I'm really looking forward to the decade-long content that I've missed, because when it comes to Sonic games, Sonic always releases, like, new stuff 24/7. Like, I don't think there's a single year in this franchise's history where there's no Sonic game being released. So I can at least assume that there are at least 10 Sonic games that I missed out on. And there's at least got to be a few really, really, really good, like outstanding games. You know, the way that Generations was, the way that Unleashed was in my eyes, the way that the adventure games were. You know, those kinds of like very, very cool, very, I guess you could say, games that stood the test of time. You know, legacy games, I guess you can say, right? Those kinds of games. Okay, hold on. I shouldn't be too focused on talking because I have to. I have 9 lives, so I should be okay. But yeah, I do think that when it comes to the series, I've just so much that I've probably missed. And I don't know, like, it just feels weird to be back. And it feels odd to say that I've been, like, not been really playing, like, or been aware of, like, a Sonic game in a decade almost. Basically a decade, right? So, I don't know, it just feels surreal. Because it's like a decade of no Sonic. Like imagine like going from 2001 to 2011, right? Just hypothetically, you have Sonic Adventure 1, you have the advanced. Sorry, Sonic Adventure 2. You have the advanced games. You have the Riders games. You have Colors, Generations, Unleashed, the storybook games, Rush games, All Stars Racing. The first game, at least. The second one, I think, was 2012. But you know, like there's so many titles that you're just missing out on. Which is just ridiculous to me, right? It's absolutely ludicrous. Okay, the screen crunch has got to be the death of me. Okay, good. Should be fine here. I don't want to lose any rings, so I should be extra careful here. Okay, good. A checkpoint. But yeah, like, when it comes to this series, I mean, I guess some people can say it's quantity over quality. But I don't necessarily agree. I think it offers a lot of quality. Are there issues? Absolutely, there are. But I don't know. I think it's just, like, Sonic just moves forward. You know, that's basically what he's all about. The character, obviously, but also the franchise and just what it does. You know? That's why I really like the whole thing of like Sonic Unleashed / World Adventure and what it did. I just really like that game, and also the storybook games. Like those are really cool when it comes to the things that they try to accomplish and stuff. It just felt like wow, this is a new concept. This is a new thing. You know, there's something really awesome. And I'm pretty sure, by the way, that Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic and Black Knight, those games, them being like storybook games, is like inspired from the fact that Sonic was originally from a storybook, because obviously that's like his backstory of like I'm pretty sure like something during like somebody. It was like something related to the Vietnam or maybe the Second World War or something. It's a long time since I like read that backstory, but it's basically like a backstory of like Sonic coming from like a story, and I'm pretty sure like some mother reading the story to her child, I think? Something like that? Wait, hold on, let me get the continue. And it's like, that's very cool, right? And like Sonic being like the main character of that storybook and being like the hero of that book. Like I'm pretty sure like the storybook games are basically trying to capitalize on that, or I guess you can say they're just calling back to that very concept and basically writing Sonic to be what he is. Like I feel like after Sonic 06, they very much tried to just like I guess reel in the essence of like Sonic's backstory and his past and his identity, I guess. That's just how I see it. Hold on. Because you know, you have the whole storybook games, which obviously comes from his original incarnation of being from a storybook. And obviously we had Sonic Unleashed, which is all about, you know, well, I prefer the Japanese name World Adventure because of the fact that he's traveling around the world, which is all what Sonic is all about and stuff, right? Like, that's why every single Sonic game is like new locations and stuff, right? Like you have, you know, it's not just you going to like Station Square, right? Like it's not you going to Green Hill every 2 seconds, right? It's never like going to, you know, whatever the San Francisco place in SA2 was, you know? Like every single Sonic game is like a new place, right? That's because Sonic just moves around the world, right? Like it's just a one-time adventure, you know? Really? Can't get that. I can't get that at all? What? What am I supposed to do? Don't tell me it's actually... Am I just screwed here? What am I supposed to do? Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm able to do it from here. You know, I don't even care about that extra life. But yeah, like, the thing is, it's like, Sonic is all about traveling the world, and obviously, like, you know, there's a light and a dark Gaia, which, the way I see it, is just like Sonic and Eggman, right? Which is why Sonic has Chip on his side, and that's why Eggman has Dark Gaia on his side, right? You know, I feel like it's just very much back to basics, but it still has that really like cool like wave storytelling, the way that, you know, Sonic 06 had, the way that Sonic Adventure 2 had, all these games, right? So that's very sick. I really like this place. Like, this level is actually pretty sweet. And yep. I'm always trying to hit it like as if it's like Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Where you're able to just make the goalpost fly up in the sky. Alright, oh, this is just 1 minute. Alright, let's see how that... Okay, so the continue is right there, simple stuff. Except you just have significantly less time, which, I mean, to me, really doesn't mean anything, doesn't matter. Yeah, like, if you don't do anything, Eggman just appears, so I'm pretty sure it just has to be you timing something or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that's one thing I really like about the storybook game, Sonic Unleash. And you know, Sonic Generations, I mean, its plot is very simple, but I mean, that's obviously for the sake of like getting like new fans accustomed to like everything from Sonic's past and stuff. It's very sick, you know. So I've 9 lives. I mean, wait, it said 12 actually in the map. Maybe the 9 is the most it can display on the Game Gear screen. Can't display double digits for some reason. Oh, yeah, pathetic. Yeah, because of the Game Gear screen crunch, bosses are easy, which, well, speak of the devil. Easy, I said, okay. But I mean, hey, the thing is, for me, I really like when bosses are easy. Because, well, really? We're doing that? Okay. I mean, hey, doesn't really matter. Oh, there's an extra life. I mean, that's very reassuring. Wait, really? Why? Wait, maybe it's the current that prevents me from actually, like... You're serious. Like, there's no way for me to actually get up here? What? Okay, I was about to say. I was scared for a second. There's no way. I have a feeling it's just Game Gear jank. I actually don't know if this game was originally developed for the Game Gear or not. I mean, Sonic doesn't have a nose in this game. Like, I don't think this game was developed for the Game Gear, man. At least it doesn't look like he has a nose. Maybe when he's looking up, I don't know. Let me look at... it doesn't appear like he has a nose. Let me actually see in front of something bright like the flowers here. No, he doesn't have a nose at all. What the heck is going on there? Sonic without a nose feels weird. I mean, he has one, like, on the bottom left, as you can see, right? With that portrait of him. Yeah, I have 12 lives, so it can display double digits. Talk about Game Gear limitations.